According to a recent lifestyle report, Kenyans are living over and above their means, with 102% spending on incomes as the high cost of living continues to drain their ability to save. Here is more.
A recent report by Newsplex on Kenya's saving culture shows Kenyans collectively spent 4.8 trillion shillings in 2015, of which 99 million was from their savings. According to economic experts, such high consumption has far-reaching effects on the economy at large.
If people go into too much consumption without saving, then definitely what that means is the stock of wealth goes down, because you're drawing down or depleting what you have, and that might affect GDP as well, because it's also known that one of the things that affects the growth of national wealth generally is the amount of money that you save and how much you invest of the money that is saved.
It boils down to, do we have money to invest, money that is generated from domestic savings? And the answer is, if this country has to invest at least 25% to catalyze growth, economic growth, then that money is not available in the domestic economy. The government or anyone wanting to invest money, it's got to be generated from the external market. Like I said, either from borrowing in the global market, and again at very high interest rates, or working for the government putting in place policies that attract now foreigners to come and invest in this country, because we are not able to generate the savings locally.
According to the report, Kenyans only save about 5% of their income. While the poor savings culture is attributable to the lack of employment and insufficient remuneration, economic fluctuations have also played a key role in excess spending.
The return on when you have inflation, high inflation, and the savings rate the interest rate on saving deposits are so low, then you're better off either keeping your money at home or even buying land. A lot of Kenyans invest in land because that's where the return is higher, as opposed to putting this in a savings account in the bank. Let me give an example. If I'm getting the interest rate on saving is 4% and the inflation is 5%, that it means the real interest on my deposit is negative. It's a -1. So over time, the wealth I have sort of gets watered down.
For the people at the lowest income level, they struggle to save, but at the same time, we know how much they're going to save is limited by the fact that they have very low incomes. So when people have low incomes, they're spending half of the money they earn on just food alone, leave alone clothes and shelter. They're spending half of their money on food alone. If food prices go up, then obviously even the ability to save goes down. For those who live in urban areas, transport costs are actually a big part of what affects them. So if transport costs go up by virtue of fuel going up, then that also affects the ability to save.
Kenyans spend about 45% of their income on food, compared to other countries like China and the US, where they spend about 7%. The high cost of living, especially in urban areas, has been a major impediment to better life for Kenyans in the lower and middle class.
Rent in Nairobi is too expensive for me. So I spend most of my income on rent, and as a lady, I do a lot of shopping. Anything I see, I just buy.
I could have said more, but now because of the economy that we have, life is very expensive, buying the goods is very high, you cannot get much to save.
Well, of course I save monthly because I belong to a SACCO, so they deduct some money from my salary by way of a check-off.
Throughout the course of the semester, we normally receive money from parents, so you have to do a little saving for yourself.
In a bid to encourage low-income earners to save, technology platforms with conducive saving plans have been created.
Those who couldn't open an account previously in a bank because the huge barriers to entry, the cost of maintaining your account, in some banks I think it's like 400 or 600 per month. That's a lot of money for someone working in the informal sector. And that could really be all they could save, which then goes into maintaining that account. But we begin to see that changing with the recent innovations. If you look at the amount of money that has been mobilized through M-Shwari, and again, a lot of this data was not available when we published the report. I think by December last year, we had something like 600 million savings through M-Shwari, because then that reduces the barriers to entry into the financial market, which then was a deterrent to saving. So the policy that both the National Treasury and Central Bank are trying to implement where ordinary Kenyans can use mobile money platforms to buy treasury bills and bonds, because that's a very good way to make sure that Kenyans who don't even have a lot of money, previously it used to be capped at 50,000 shillings for you to be able to buy a treasury bill or treasury bond. But if it's open to the mobile money platform, where anybody even with 1,000 shillings, you can participate in the treasury bill and the treasury bill auction, that means that the government can mobilize a lot of money and give ordinary Kenyans a platform for savings in a very, very inexpensive way.
With the ever-increasing cost of living, analysts suggest that creating a competitive business environment will play a part in improving the quality of life and encourage a saving and investing culture.
Competition is one of the surest ways of ensuring that prices and products and services are provided to all classes of people at the most cost-effective point, because price is a very important signal for a private sector firm.